Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we're going to slum it a little bit, and we're going to take a look at Henry McKenna bourbon. It's a sour mash, bottled at 40% 80 proof, distilled by Henry McKenna Distillery, Bardstown. This is a Heaven Hill product. Let's see here. Due to McKenna's strict requirement of proper aging before bottling, it didn't take long for his whiskey to become popular. Today's Henry McKenna still satisfies those looking for a real whiskey with real history. Okay, so, excuse me. I do not see an age statement on here. It does say Kentucky Straight, so I'm going to assume that without an age statement that this is at least 4 years old. So, backstory on this. Henry McKenna is one of the whiskeys that is on my hit list. But this is the first Henry McKenna I have found, and it is not the one that is on my hit list. My hit list is I believe it's the Bottled and Bond 10-year-old. I don't know if it's Bottled and Bond, but it is a 10-year-old whiskey. And so I'm pretty sure it's Bottled and Bond. That's what I was looking for. But I didn't bring out my notes when I saw this. I bought this in Casper last week. I paid $11.87 for this. So like I said, we're slumming it a little bit. We're back down in the 80 proof budget twist on cap. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you are getting bad whiskey. If you watch my very first couple of reviews that I've done, they were whiskeys under $10, okay? And in the right city, right location, this is probably under $10 as well. So one of the videos to come somewhere around here I'm going to break out price categories, and I'm going to pick some of my favorites that fall into those categories and explain why I like them and why you might want to consider giving them a go sometime, especially because, especially at the lower points, if you don't like it, you can always mix it, not feel bad about it, and move on with life. So, like I said, I didn't believe this was the bottle I was looking for. However, I did know that Henry McKenna was one that was on my list, so I did buy this sort of with that in mind. But I know that my list is definitely above $11, so or $12. So I knew this wasn't the one, but I figured I'd give it a go, give it a try, see where it goes, and we're going to do that for you now. And yeah, it's just nice when you're traveling to be able to find stuff that you can't find locally. So keep that in mind anytime you're hitting the road. If you go to a new city, if you are a whiskey fan or any kind of a fan of anything, such as myself, keep an eye out for it while you're out there, because you never know what you're going to stumble upon. So, 80 proof, 40% whiskey. Is it something that we're going to rave about? Most likely no, but there have been a couple of instances where I found something that is overwhelmingly great, even in the budget category. They tend to be a little thin, and they tend, they're going budget, 80 proof, bottom of the barrel. You can't go any lower than that and still consider yourself a whiskey. So it's mostly about mass production at that point. But on the nose, it's extremely thin on the nose, but you do get a brown sugar and a cherry. And a very creamy, I don't know how to describe it other than it's a creamy cherry with an oak that moves into a sweet brown sugar. It's like a cherry, some kind of cherry cream candy. It's very sweet smelling. There's not a whole lot there to choose from, but it's a very pleasant nose. And now that cherry's coming forward, the cream's dropping off, and it is becoming more of a hard cherry, some kind of a hard cherry candy, hard cherry sucker, like a Dum Dum sucker, cherry Dum Dum sucker maybe. That's what I'd say it's going towards. Okay, on the taste. Fairly bit thin. However, we're coming off of several whiskeys at a lot higher proof. This is the fourth video. This is the lowest proof whiskey. We had the Noah's Mill at 114 plus, the Yellowstone at 93, and then the Old Forester at, what was that, 90. So the ethanol is kind of sucking a lot of the higher proof ethanol, the higher proof whiskeys have sucked a lot of the flavor out of this, because I know I tried this the other day and it was much more flavorful than what it is right now. So I'm not really giving this a fair shake, unfortunately. But it was very sweet, cherry, brown sugar, a hint of vanilla, touch of oak, but a fairly thin profile. It was very watery on my tongue, but my tongue is still fairly dried out from some of the higher proof whiskeys that I've already had. So, boy, I don't feel like I'm giving this a fair shake. Let me rinse my mouth again. We'll see if that helps at all. Give it another go here. Still kind of thin, but I got graham cracker, brown sugar, finishes with an oak, an astringent oak actually, and yeah, there's some brown sugar in there. So it's all classic bourbon notes. And I would say compared to several other whiskeys that I've had, this is going to be a weird comment because I just got done crapping all over this for being thin. A lot of those notes are turned up and more recognizable than in several other low proof bottlings that I've had. So it's a very distinguished, nice, sweet cherry. It's a very distinguished, sweet, well-rounded brown sugar. The oak is kind of tamped down. You get a little bit of barrel astringency, a little barrel impact. It's not black pepper spice. It's astringent. The mouthfeel, watery, very watery and thin. But I do like it. And you shouldn't expect a ton of stuff out of a $12 bottle. But again, if I started with this, and I should have, but the problem was I started laying out bourbons. I had the Yellowstone and the Noah's Mill from a previous purchase that I wanted to finish that up. So I started with those, and I should have done these reviews via proof. But with all that rambling, I'm going to definitely suggest you go out, give this a try. Henry McKenna, just their standard straight bourbon. It's a sour mash, which is kind of nice. You don't always get that in a bourbon. And I got nothing bad to say about it. I would sit and drink this all day long just by itself. And I would bet that the flavor profile would increase if I hadn't come off something else. So, is it complex? No. Is it good? 100%. And at $12, you're definitely not going wrong. So if you can find this in your area, go ahead, go pick that up, give it a try. As I said, drop in the comments down below, what can you find a bottle of Henry McKenna for in your area? Let me know what experiences you have had with it and whether or not you like it. What did I say? $11 and I said 99 before. $11.87 here in Wyoming, in Casper. Yeah, I don't have any faults for it. I can't fault it for being thin at 80 proof and $12. So there you go. As always, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. You guys have yourselves a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video.